Hammer strength incline chest press versus the Gymleco incline chest press. So I saw this video on Instagram. A couple of gym buddies forwarded it to me too. I'll show it to you, give my reaction. So this is a gym out of Germany where they're talking about what they've done to their hammer strength incline chest press. If you got what they've done is added a horn to change the resistance profile, in addition to adding a pre-stretched lever to help with liftoff. So as he rightly talks about, the original strength curve of most hammer strength machines is end biased, which is great for triceps. Triceps do well with that, but it's not necessarily optimal for chest hypertrophy. It's just interesting looking at the comments, like the debate about that. I mean, should it really be a debate? I mean, we can go into that further, but if you're looking to just press a bunch of weight, you can have an ascending resistance profile. But if you're looking for optimal, quote unquote optimal, you're still going to get hypertrophy either way, chest hypertrophy. You want a descending strength curve. But anyways, just he's added a couple things to make it so that it kind of functions more like an ideal chest machine rather than a tricep or shoulder machine. I always like looking at the comments and see who comments what. But it's interesting, people are attached to machines like this and sort of the trigger they get when people challenge the status quo. And Woosh Daddy actually mentioned me in here. I appreciate the shout out that I'm the one that came up with this. May or may not be, but I don't know anybody else that was doing this before I was to all my machines. So yeah, obviously if you guys have been following me, you know I've done those types of mods for years. And, you know, people follow, copy, imitate, you know, most of the time without giving credit, whatever happens. Since there's so much confusion, let's just clear a few things up and just review. So we're looking at incline chest press. We're looking at upper pec, anterior deltoid, and triceps. Where are they strong? Where are they weak? Where do they have mechanical advantages? So the bottom, the pecs are very vulnerable to the weakest. It's the 30 to 60 degree of humeral elevation where they have the best leverage to push the most weight. So this is where I think the confusion comes in. People are talking over themselves, talking about ideal strength curve for hypertrophy versus strength. So if you're looking for a hypertrophy, you want max mechanical tension, period. And if you're looking at the chest, that means moderate in the beginning, heaviest in the middle, and lightest at the end. Otherwise, the triceps are going to take over. So that's why this works for hypertrophy, because we're trying to challenge the pecs where they're the strongest and where they're the weakest, and have a strength curve that's consonant with that, so the deltoids and the triceps don't take over. So you want something that drops off after about 60 degrees of humeral elevation. Otherwise, your triceps will absolutely take over. So obviously, Prime makes that, you know, I make all my machines Prime-esque. But this is the difference. If you're looking for an ideal strength curve for strength, you're looking at neural drive. You're looking at force production. It's the exact opposite. You want an ascending strength curve. That's where they're talking over each other. You want to strengthen your triceps where they're the strongest at lockout. You want max leverage. So you want it heaviest at the end. You want just a straight ascending strength curve, which is not the case for hypertrophy. So I think that's why understanding what your goals are, if you're a power lifter, whatever, but if you're looking for a hypertrophy of the chest, you want a bell curve strength curve. So I actually thought it was interesting. I saw both Joe Bennett and Mike Rizzutel both commented on the hammer strength incline chest press. Both are decent guys. I don't have anything against them. But yeah, I mean, I don't care what they say either way, but we'll see what they say, and I'll tell you what I think. So yeah, they're talking about, the main thing they're saying is it's overrated, which I think sums up that machine in a nutshell. So obviously lots of greats have used it. I mean, it's a machine from the 90s. When it came out, I mean, just think if all you had access to was like barbell bench press or dumbbell bench press, this thing is amazing because it adds some more stability than you're used to. But yeah, you see all the big names using it. And like he talks about here, I totally agree. It sometimes feels like a hybrid between a chest press and a shoulder press. It's just awkward. If you grab too wide, it's all shoulder. If you grab too narrow, it just doesn't converge enough either. And obviously, as they're pointing out, the resistance profile is backwards. That's the same with all hammer strength, like we talked about. But yeah, I just thought it was interesting that these guys put their 2 cents in about equipment. And then I always kind of looking at the comments here, seeing what people feel. The machine feels odd. I like the machine after barbell bench pressing, which is kind of what I mentioned. I always thought I was doing something wrong. It kills my shoulders. That's my thing. It's a shoulder press more than it is an incline chest press. You can add a foam roller that gives you a deep stretch that can mitigate some of the problem with it. Use it unilateral. That's one of the ways. That's the only way I would use it. It talks about Jeff Nippert. I talked about it in my video about him. So I owned the hammer strength incline back in the day. I've owned the flat as well. I actually liked the flat better than the incline, and I'll tell you why. I'll show you my modified Gymleco incline chest press, which I think is a better machine, and we'll compare them both. So my Gymleco is tucked back in here. Honestly, I haven't used this in probably 6 months, 8 months. I've got so many other good incline chest presses. This is still an excellent chest press. I used it again today, and I was reminded how good it is. So this is the original handle, and you can see I've added 3 different handle angles, which are phenomenal. I love that this angle's out because you're going to get a crazy stretch. The benefit of this, other than the really compact footprint, this line of Gymleco, guys, this plate-loaded shoulder and the plate-loaded flat are actually all excellent pieces. If I had room, I'd have all 3 of them, but this is probably the best of the 3 in my opinion. But the problem is this seat has got to be jacked up all the way. I'm a decently big guy, but unless you're 7 foot, this thing's got to be jacked up all the way for your nipples to barely align with this. So if you're super short, you're going to have to sit on a couple pillows to line yourself up. So what I love about this versus the hammer is it starts with a ton of pre-stretch. So sometimes I'll just use yoga blocks. But I love that I'm starting with a ton of pre-stretch because it gives me a much better range of motion. And the steep convergence on this is just money. So this is the original handle. You can see I got to have the seat all the way up in order to line myself up. It angles out, so what that's going to force you to do is open your torso in the frontal plane. Is so important for chest stimulation. So this is all the way on the top. I'll point out that even with the extra horn, the strength curve is not perfect. It's good, but not perfect. I would add an extra one. I'd have 3 horns to make it perfect, but it's just not ideal because I wouldn't be able, you'd have to get on a ladder to put weight on the top horn. But check out the convergence on this. These handles I've added are so good. So because of the added handles, I can actually drop the seat. The seat height at the lower positions is actually now functional. But the stretch on this just built in without a pad is absolutely unbelievable. And it's got a steeper convergence than any other upright incline chest press I know of, honestly. And I've used almost all of them, including Panada, including Rogers. I mean, Rogers doesn't converge, which is why I don't like it. Better as a shoulder press. But these handles I have added are fantastic, but the bang for your buck with the footprint is fantastic. So now let's look at it versus the hammer. You can see the hammer doesn't converge near as much. And just look at the path of pressing. So the path of pressing of the Gymleco is more upright, more straight up and down, which is going to force my clavicular fibers to engage. This is Sean Clarita. Obviously, you guys know him. He's super strong guy. But just look at the amount of convergence he's getting versus I'm getting. Look at the movement and arm path. Now that's still going to get some chest, but I'm telling you, you're going to nail the clavicular fibers much more. And an incline upright chest press, it's got to get max convergence in order to stimulate chest and not shoulder. And that's what it comes down to. When you have an incline upright chest press that doesn't converge enough, your shoulders and triceps are going to take over and not your chest. But check out the handle. The neutral handle is money. This handle is still good, honestly. I'm going to be using this more. I've just got so many other chest presses I've been modifying and things. You just kind of forget about it. So to each their own. Obviously, many people love the hammer strength incline chest press because they don't know any different. They haven't tried all these other machines. They haven't experimented it like I have. And like I said, like what you want. I really don't care. But from a biomechanical perspective, there's lots better alternatives. But honestly, that's what I can't stand. Other than people's true naivete and gullibility in this industry is you can't really give real reviews because you're trying to sell something. You can't actually give unbiased reviews. So that's why I don't buy the BS. I'm going to say exactly what I feel, period. I don't care if it's Panada or Nebula or Magamass or whatever. I'm going to tell you exactly what's good and what's bad without any ulterior motives. So in conclusion, if that's all you got access to, use it. I mean, honestly, if you position your body, you can do one arm at a time decent. But my Gymleco is crazy. So with those new handles, now I can actually use the bottom range of motion of that seat pad. So it's actually a phenomenal machine. Gymleco is great, but it's not as good as this. Check this out. I haven't reviewed this yet. Stay tuned to more videos, but this is my modified lever incline. Look at those handles. Unbelievable machine. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, subscribe. All have an amazing day.